that would go all the way to the back into the bathroom. So I had to wait for my mom to go help a customer, or there had to be one customer there that my mom would trust, so I didn't have to be there. And so I had to fucking wait, and then she got down and she went over to go help the customer. I was like, I'm gonna go to the back to go to the bathroom. And I went to the bathroom. I was like, I have to jack off. There's only one way. There was only way to solve this problem. In that dingy little bathroom at my parents' store, at a beauty supply store, I fucking whacked off with the fury. And I remember that's the first time I jacked off standing up.
Oh, wow.
I've never jacked off standing up before.
Yeah.
Right? And after that, I was like, why don't I just jack off in the shower? Like, it's such an easy cleanup.
You had an epiphany.
Yeah, and it started unfolding. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Genius Brain Podcast. We have Edric in the house once again.
Hey, y'all.
Hi, y'all. How y'all doing? Oh, shit.
Oh, take it easy.
No, I've been taking a lot of like CBD shit. One thing I noticed about CBD, it doesn't last long. So it's like it definitely helps, right? It helps you relax and all this other stuff, but it lasts about an hour.
Oh, really? That's it? An hour for you?
It doesn't last very long for me.
At least you feel the effects. I mean, like I told you last time, but then I was only taking pure CBD. You have a little bit of THC in there, right?
Well, the one that I got is actually from my buddy Han's company. I can't remember the name right now, but you guys probably saw it in my story. But I don't want to misquote their name and then give somebody else business. But his gummies are pretty good. Like I felt the quote unquote like type of almost like body high, but that without feeling like the mental.
The head change.
The head change and shit, which was really great. Yeah. But the problem with that was like I had to do a conference call. I did not give a fuck about what was going on. Like,
so I'm feeling too good.
But I was like trying to say something very like coherent. But it's not, you don't get high. Yeah. But because you're so relaxed, you're not really paying attention to anything that's going on. You're like it's a mental thing. I just don't give a fuck. Yeah. And so I forgot what they were saying, and I just started rambling off. And they're like, "What was that?" And I'm like, "I don't know."
So don't worry about it.
I don't know, man. I'm just feeling really good. Yeah. But then like the CBD gummies have they kind of help out. Like they feel. I'm not sure about the inflammation part, which I know that a lot of people say it helps with. Yeah. I think if you have like severe arthritis, like that's where they can feel the effects of it. But I know it helps me relax. Like it makes me feel good.
That's what I need some of, man. It's just something to help me relax. I got too much stress, too much anxiety. I don't sleep well.
Take CBD, man. It does help. It won't. When Mariel took CBD stuff, she goes, I don't feel anything crazy. I'm like, you're not supposed to. What the fuck are you talking about? You're not supposed to get like high off your fucking mind on this shit.
That's a common misconception. You know, people think that you're just gonna get high, and it's like, no, that's not what it's about. It's,
people who have anxiety or they have trouble like getting into this relaxed state, you will feel the effects of CBD. Those are the people you can see a stark difference. If you don't deal with anxiety and you're a pretty calm person, why take it? Yeah, exactly. You know, unless you have inflammation issues or stuff like that. But when I take the CBD, it helps out a lot. It feels good.
But Mariel is like high energy, right? So it might help her to kind of just,
Cool. I mean, it's funny because she's like, should I take some CBD? I'm like, what do you need it for? You're about to fucking knock out in 2 seconds.
Okay, she has no problem sleeping.
No, dude.
Just KOs.
Yeah, we'll get into one of the most annoying things that Mariel does is that we'll get into like an argument maybe right before we sleep. So I have a general rule is that before we go to sleep, don't argue with me. Yeah. Because I'm going to be fucked up.
Yeah, exactly. You're not going to be able to sleep.
This girl, she'll be able to fucking rile me up. And then 3 seconds later, all I hear is, I'm like, yo, how the fuck are you sleeping right now? Like, you terrible person. Yeah. And she wakes up the next day. She goes, are you still mad? And I'm like, I haven't slept.
Yeah. I'm even more mad than I was.
I literally haven't slept, and you just knocked out like nothing happened.
Yeah, you know who's narcoleptic like that is a John.
For real?
Yeah. This dude is straight. Like, I would not be surprised if he got diagnosed with narcolepsy. Like this dude,
really?
He like that, literally like that. He fucking passes out. Like you get in the car. His head's already dropped the moment he sits.
That's hilarious.
I'm like, how? I don't understand how you do that, bro. Like, how the fuck do you?
He never sleeps. That dude literally never sleeps.
Who?
John?
No, not John Ho. John Kwan. Dr. John Kwan.
I thought you meant John Ho.
No. John Ho is on a normal sleep cycle now because he has a daughter. He's a kid. Yeah. So I mean, he used to be narcoleptic, not narcoleptic, insomniac like us, but. No, John Kwan, Dr. John Kwan.
He just knocks out?
He's a fucking narcoleptic, bro. He's had that problem since one time in high school, we were at the park. We met up at the park to like just smoke a cigarette real quick before we went home, and we were out late. And then so I think like we split up maybe around like, I don't know, 4 a.m. right? And then in the morning, his mom is looking for him. Like, hey, were you with John last night? I was like, what? I mean, we all split up. Like, he didn't come home? So I know he didn't come home. Like, do you know where? I'm like, no, I don't know. It turns out this dude got into his car, started his engine, and knocked out.
Oh my God, dude.
The park was next to the elementary school. He woke up when kids started getting dropped off at school.
That's fucking funny, dude.
So he was knocked out for like a solid 3 hours, 3.5, 4 hours in the car.
What was he so tired from?
No, that's just how he grows, bro. He just knocks out. Like, trust me, man. You would be shocked at the times this guy knocks out. He doesn't even seem tired, but then you just give him a second of pause.
That's fucking funny,
and
dude.
He's out. He's fucking
People
out.
thought he was probably a pervit. Full sleeping in front of an elementary school and shit. Yeah. They're like, yo, what the fuck are you doing here for 3 hours?
Exactly.
His fucking dick's out. His hand like.
He said his gas tank was almost on empty.
Oh my God, dude. So he had the car on?
Yeah, he had the engine on. He started the engine to go home. And the crazy shit is, this will live like a quarter mile away from
Oh my God, dude. Yeah. That's fucking hilarious, man.
Yeah. But, there's so many incidents where like, this guy just knocks out at the most inconvenient time, dude.
He's lucky, man. I wish I could do that.
Oh, he's caused like accidents, bro, because he knocked out while he's driving.
Oh my God, yeah. He should not drive.
Well, not drive even if you're feeling like an ounce of fatigue,
I know that the weird thing is I get sleepy in cars. So if I drive a long distance, the moment I start, I just pull over.
Ah, man, you know what's the worst, bro? Is when like you riding in the car with other people and you pass out. And then you fucking get you get wood from that. You know what I'm talking about?
The morning wood?
Yeah, you get the morning. No, and you don't even realize it sometimes. And you get out the car and you're like, oh.
No, I got into this when I was in college. Speaking of fucking narcolepsy, you actually just triggered a memory for me. Yeah. So when I was in college, so there's a buddy of mine who went to my same elementary school, and I think he went to my same high school too. We just never kicked it. But this motherfucker would sleep so easily all over the place, right? And this is the thing about this guy. Yeah. His name is Scott. Scott's a really nice fucking dude, right? Really cool, chill ass motherfucker, right? Problem with him is, I remember he used to get irritated at me because I was not doing well in school. Yeah. Right. But there are I wasn't doing well in school not because I'm not smart. I just didn't give a fuck about UC Riverside. Yeah. I was like, I hate this fucking school. Right. Yeah. But we ended up taking one course together in college where I never showed up to class ever at all. Right. I ended up getting a B. And he ended up getting like a C- or some shit, barely passable, right? And he went to class every day and was studying his ass off. And I remember this was so irritated because I kept on calling him stupid. Right?
Okay, well that's your bad. First of all, that's fucked up.
But the guy would always like be on me about not going to class. But I'm like, well, what the fuck? I need to go to class for? I didn't do anything for you, dumb fuck. But he's from Sacramento, so we would drive to Sacramento. This dude actually almost fucking killed me. So we're in Sacramento, and from LA to Sacramento is roughly about a 5.5 hour, maybe to 6 hour drive, depending on how slow or fast you're going. Yeah. We're in Modesto at this point. Modesto is about an hour and a half away from Sacramento, maybe an hour tops, right? Yeah. So I see this fool starting to fall asleep. It's about 6 a.m. in the morning, and we usually leave at night because we have stuff to do during the daytime. Yeah. So I could see him getting really tired and falling asleep. So I'm like, hey man, why don't you pull over so I can drive? Because I knocked out. Yeah. So I was fresh. Yeah. He's like, no, I got it. I'm gonna drive. And I'm like, are you sure? Yeah. He goes, no, I got it. Don't worry. Yeah. So I'm starting to relax, and I'm thinking like, okay, well, if he says he's fine, even though I don't feel it, I was a little nervous, but he reassured me that he was good. Yeah. I started kind of like dozing off a little bit myself, and then I looked over. I shit you fucking not. Yeah. I see this fool holding the wheel like this, like the undergrips, right? Yeah. Head down, in his chin into his chest, knocked out, driving, knocked out. Yeah. And I go, yo, Scott, wake the fuck up, right? He looks at me, goes, and he just turns the wheel right when he wakes up. Yeah. From the left lane all the way to the right. Yeah. Donuts. We spun out, and we flipped and flew into a fucking ditch.
Oh my God.
And somehow By the grace of God, we dodged all these cars from the left to the right lane and didn't hit a single one. And we flipped and flew into a ditch.
Was it his car at least?
It was his car.
Okay.
Fucking falls asleep with his head with his chin touching his chest like this. And we fly into a ditch. When I told him to let me drive, and he wouldn't let me drive, right? Yeah. So I remember I've never gotten into a car accident like that before. So we got home and I felt fine. And then I went to go play ball after. After I just flew into a fucking ditch, right? I didn't know I had whiplash.
Oh man.
So I had whiplash. And so, but I was playing ball, everything fine, you know, hitting up the boys. And then the next day I couldn't move my neck. So I was like paralyzed at my neck for damn near like 2 or 3 weeks. I had no fucking idea.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So check it out. This fool's such a fucking terrible driver. Scott. This motherfucker, apparently his parents buys him a brand new Camry after that, because that was his parents' Camry.
Oh, okay.
Within the first month, totals that car.
Oh my God.
He totals 2 fucking cars.
Well, that's just you don't deserve to have a car.
That's what I'm saying, dude. And he ended up marrying one of our classmates that went to Riverside too, and they have a kid and everything. Which I'm pretty sure I was surprised they didn't fucking he fell asleep on her. This motherfucker, dude.
Well, that's pretty much like how John is. You know, he's fallen asleep many times while driving.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, sometimes he got lucky, other times not so much.
Yo, I just remembered this fool one time when we were at a Denny's. I think we were drinking. And then we went to go eat at a Denny's. He fell asleep while we were eating at a Denny's mid conversation in a sentence. He was just he was talking and he fell asleep.
Dude, that's like. You see that shit all the fucking time, bro.
That's like, just hilarious.
Yeah.
How the fuck does it happen to people?
I've personally never done it, but I've seen so many other people do it that it's just like a normal thing. Once it's a night of drinking. One time we were in Vegas, and then we were at the club, and then we were staying at, I think, Venetian. That's where they have the Cheesecake Factory, I think, inside. Yeah. So the Cheesecake Factory was open late at night, so we went there to eat. And then, one of my homies, straight up, mid-bite, he lifted it up, and he just fucking fell asleep. And he's holding his hand
fucking
up.
Funny, dude.
It was like, is this really fucking sleep?
How's that possible?
Guided his hand into my mouth to take his bite. This was still in a wake up. You just sleep. I'm like, damn, dude, that's some skill right there.
Yo, were you there with Abe when this fool got so plastered drunk? I saw this fool take a drink. Through a straw. This fool drank and he tried talking at the same time because he was so drunk. He was like, hey guys, what are you doing? He's fucking drinking the water, and then he's talking water's coming out of his fucking mouth. I'm like, bro, drink or talk, not like, both at the same time.
Down, dude. No, but honestly, fatigue and alcohol is probably the worst mix possible. You know, because there is a point where people are more tired than drunk, but then that alcohol is gonna have way more impact on you know, your ability to function at a certain point. And some of the shit you see people do is just. That's why for me it's so funny not drinking and being so, because I see all that shit. I got so much blackmail material on some people.
That's hilarious, dude.
It's like all the shit you did, all the shit you said, you probably don't remember.
Dude, man, Riverside was such a fucking weird time. Like I had Ray over. He came over for dinner one time, and then we were talking about. I mentioned this one story where, you know how there was a certain point. In our lives where things started becoming really PC, like political, just kind of just being mindful of what you know, other people go through when we hear certain words. Like we've talked about this multiple times on the podcast. How we used to use the word "that's gay" all the fucking time, right? So I told him the story, and listen, this is not who I am now, and I'm a lot more sensitive now. But when you were in the dorms, there were these moments where the RA would set up these meetings, these dorm meetings, where they would talk about like etiquette, right? How to properly address people. I heard now, like in college, they address the fact that you should call people by the pronouns that they want to be called, like his, her, him, they, that. You know, all the other stuff. That's like a huge thing.
Wow. Okay.
In Irvine specifically, it's like that. So I have a nephew out in Irvine right now, and he was telling me that the first day when they moved into their dorms, they were very particular about making sure that you call people by their specific pronouns, right? And when he raised his hand, and he never never heard of this because like Sacramento, they weren't really talking about that shit, I guess. And he went there and he asked and he goes like, I don't understand what this is, right?
Yeah.
And they kind of gave him an attitude like he was being difficult. He was like, no, excuse me. And he got mad. He goes, you can't get mad. I don't know what we're doing right now. I don't know what this is. And so he got upset at the dorm RA because they were giving him attitude about asking a fucking question. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, if you're gonna. This podcast is brought to you by Honey. No, my friends, not what you call your lover, but the free browser extension that saves you money. Honey, you know how you got that one Asian mom that be saving coupons for rainy days? Well, Honey is a digital version of that, but she scours the internet for the best promo codes and applies them for you at checkout, so you get the best deals. And unlike the Asian mom, she don't beat your ass. You just get the coupons without the attitude. Let me tell you something. I don't buy anything unless Honey goes through that mug first. If there's a promo code or coupon to be used, I need it immediately. Even on like websites like Amazon, and Amazon is already crazy cheap, Honey gets to work on them prices for you. Nothing in this world feels as good as saving on deals. It's simple. If you have a computer, Honey should be on it. It's free and works with whatever browser you use. You can get Honey for free today at joinhoney.com/brain. That's joinhoney.com/brain. I set these rules. Clearly people are going to ask what's going on.
Yeah, bro, you can't approach it like that. You can't be mad at somebody because they don't know. And like, if they're asking, at least they're taking the time to ask, versus being like, this is stupid as hell, right?
Because I was that guy. So at the dorm, so they gathered everybody around and there was this poster and they wanted to talk about using gay as a negative like term, right? Mm-hmm. So I remember it was this poster that was on the wall. And like, hey guys, when you guys say that something's kind of whack or dumb, what do you guys say, right? And then there was like, I'm pretty sure one of the popular phrases that you guys have is "that's gay." Right. And on the wall it says, "Don't say that's gay because you wouldn't say that's straight." And I looked at it, I was like, that's the gayest fucking thing I've ever heard. Then everybody started busting up laughing, right? But the RA was not happy. She was like, kind of gave me a dirty ass fucking look, but I couldn't stop laughing because that roast was so perfect. So Ray told me a story when he had a similar situation when he was at his dorm and his RA was doing the whole thing, and they were talking about body positivity and images. This is like what, like 12 years ago, 10, 11, 12 years ago. And so I guess there was somebody within his group that's very good at dishing disses, but it's not very good at taking it.
Okay, one of those
motherfuckers, right? So Ray told me this story where they were at the dorm and the RA started off by saying like, when you guys look at a magazine, proposing this question, when you guys look at a magazine, what are the typical bodies that you see and what are the typical bodies that you don't see? And I don't know this guy's name, right? And one of the homies were like, you don't see fucking Kyle on that shit, right? And this dude Kyle, apparently he has issues with his personal body image that nobody fucking knew. So he just stood up and he was like, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, guy. Just started screaming at the top of his lungs, and it got really awkward, right? And he tried to roast him back by saying something else. He goes, well, I don't see any stupid dirty Vietnamese people. It's like, bro, you went racist.
I know. It's like,
he just kind of took it like, yo, man, like chill. But the dude went off the fucking rails and started dropping F-bombs on the motherfucker in the middle of the meeting.
Hit a sore spot.
Hit a super fat sore spot. A sore fat spot.
Dude, what I would have liked to see is actually Ray tell this story. That's what I would love to see.
Dude, when Ray told me that story, I was dying laughing. Dude. Just because in that situation, when somebody roasts you, don't do that.
Yeah, dude, just laugh it off. You
laugh
know what
it
I
off
mean?
Or come back with something else. It's like, hey, shut the fuck up. And you start roasting them back. But don't ever in a public setting just
fuck you. Fuck you.
Don't do that. Fuck you. Don't do that type of shit. But that was so weird. Like I used to always hate people who would always make fun of people, but when they get made fun of, they can't laugh.
I mean, exactly, man. It's like, dude, if you're gonna joke around, you should be able to take a joke too.
100%, man.
Like, you can't expect people to just be cool and laugh, and you expect them to be okay with what you're saying, but moment they rib you a little bit, it's like, oh, how fucking dare you? Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you!
I stopped like roasting people back as much because I don't know how to teeter the line very well. Like because the way my friends made fun of each other back at home, it was really harsh.
Yeah, it's just raw.
So it was like I I don't know how to do that very well. So like, for example, like I forgot what I said not too long ago, but one of my friends recently had like a falling out with their friends, right? And I forgot, like this dude started roasting me.
Yeah.
And damn, I wish I could say your name, you little bitch. I'll embarrass the fuck out of you right now. But this dude was like, you know, making jokes, and he's always good at making jokes. And he started doing like fat jokes. I'm like, fat jokes are the easiest things that you could do. And I lost 60 pounds, so it's not that funny. So people weren't laughing that much, right? And I was like, dog, why are you even here? Like, nobody likes you. Like, you don't have friends. Apparently I hit a sore spot, right? And it's like, yo, man, that's like too far. And I'm like, dog, you started it off. You're the one who made the fucking fat joke. I'm over here just telling you that nobody likes you, dude. I was like, I'm not even roasting you. These are just facts. Like, why do you even come to these things?
Oh,
man. Just like, it got really fucking awkward. But I just told him, like, listen, you know what happens when you make fun of me. I don't know that line. So don't start. Right? People are laughing at your expense. But if you would have just laughed, it would have been okay.
You just basically told him he's a fucking loser. And then he had to internalize that.
I think it must have hit a sore spot for him or something like that. Because nobody really likes him, you know, because once again, he's one of those friends that likes to make fun of everybody else at their expense, but can't take it. And I'm like, you must have forgot who the fuck I am in this group. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't like doing it. Like, if somebody roasts me and it's light, I just laugh because there's no point in me coming back at you. It was like, you just made the group laugh and we all laughed together. But out of nowhere, the dude just started making fat jokes. And I'm like, first of all, I've had fat jokes said to me my whole life. You better come prepared. Like, I'm gonna fucking wreck you.
That, and you're not even fat though, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like it's a relevant joke.
If that joke comes out, it's like, I've heard fat jokes my whole life. It's like I known him for years, so I know background story. We know history. So fat jokes are surface level jokes at this point. Like, I know for a fact nobody likes you here, dude.
You know,
go home.
You know what my approach now is at this age is. You know, because I feel like I'm pretty sharp. Like, my wit is pretty sharp. And so, like, I'm quick on my feet and, like, thinking. And so now I'm at a point where if somebody says something or tries to clown, it's based on my mood. Sometimes I'm just like, all right.
Laugh about it.
Yeah, I'm going to just take it. But then other times I'm like, okay, I'm going to obliterate you now. There's that type of mood sometimes. But it's not like my younger days where it's like automatic rebuttal. And it's not even like out of, pettiness or resentment or anything like that. It's just like, all right, you clown, I got to clown back. That's just the way it is. Like, you basically engaged me in a sparring session. But now it's just like, sometimes I just don't really feel like, retorting back. I'm just like,
because I think my problem is that because I used to get made fun of so much, I always like to look for an insecurity to end the conversation. Because I don't want none of that shit. Because once they get mad like that, that's when it's over. Like, there was a buddy of mine who he was making fun of me for like stupid shit, right? But I think I kind of took it the wrong way because I just wasn't having it that day. You know what I mean? And he was kind of making fun of me because, like, me and Mariel live separate lives, and he was kind of alluding to the fact it's like, oh, she's probably cheating on you and shit like that, right?
What?
Which I didn't really appreciate, right? And I just looked at him, and I was like, you're balding. And then he was like, what? And then people, one of the homies started laughing. And I'm like, dog, your hair is so fucking thin. You look like shit. Right?
Well, that's what you get.
But once again, it's not really a roast. It's just more like, I just figured out because this guy used to have thick ass hair. And I saw it and I'm like, bro, what the fuck is going on with your head, dude?
You made it personal, bro.
Yeah, I just called him Homer Simpson, dude. I was like, you got 3 strands going from one ear to the other ear. I was like, who the fuck are you fooling, dude?
And it's like, why would you even joke about, like...
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like, I'm like, in most of the time I could take those jokes. And, and I would come back with something else, but I just wasn't having it that day. And I'm like...
You were in the obliteration mode.
Yeah, I was like, you're bald. Guys get really sensitive about their hair. And I was like, not only are you bald, I was like, bro, since high school, you got so fucking fat. What do you have going for you right now? Guys are just going, man. It doesn't help when the homies just go, they're like, don't fuck with me right now, man.
Dude, I don't know what's worse, to get the or just dead silence.
I know.
Like, like, you took it there.
I just started roasting him about his weight, how much weight he's lost, how much weight he's gained and everything. And I'm like, bro, I got this all fucking day. Don't do this to me.
But that's the thing. It's just like, to talk about your fiance cheating on you.
Especially because he never met her. It's like, hold on a second, bro.
It's like, come on, bro. Like, look, man, I don't even know why you got to joke about something like that. Like, come on. You're offending her honor and her integrity as a person.
100%.
To suggest that she would even do something like that.
Yeah, then I just kept on looking up pictures of like bald people. And I just like started swiping through Google. I was like, this is you right now, bro. I was like, this kind of looks like you. I was like, this kind of looks like you. Oh,
man. You went to the pettiness level,
I went
bro.
bad petty. I was doing that shit all night.
Oh,
you know, when I hate people, dude, I fucking go at them, dude.
Yeah. If I was him, I would have just taken the L and bounced them. Okay. You know what? I tried. I took an L on it. I'm gonna go home now, guys.
I don't do that shit as much anymore. But it's like, man, dude, sometimes just people just catch you on a bad one and they don't understand. It's like, you got to understand like the way. It's like, if you dish it, I could take it, but I'll give it to you 10 times back. Yeah. Or if we're both not laughing, then it should stop. For some reason, that joke specific, I think it's because he never met her or anything else like that. Yeah. So where's the joke here? You know, it's like, you're not roasting me. You're actually making fun of my fiance. Yeah. You're not making fun of me right now.
Right.
You know? So that was like, ugh.
Yeah, I would have been a little bit offended by that too. Like, yo, what the fuck you trying to say about my fiance, bro?
It's funny how weak people are though in that type of sense. It's like, clearly you're balding. Like, we all know. Right? Oh, dog. He got fucking super irritated because like we were at a bar. Yeah. And you know, when these top lights are down, you could really see your hairline. I was like, hey, bro, let me help you real quick. And I said, let me help you real quick. This light's not helping you out. I was like, your hair's so thin I can see your thoughts. This little just started. Oh, man. You know, and I don't have like the thick, luscious hair, but I ain't balding yet. Yeah, and he was like, well, you're going to get fucking bald one day too. I was like, but I'm not now.
It ain't today, bro. I know. It ain't today. I ain't got a bird's nest on my head right now.
Dog, the picture, I wish I still had it, but the picture that I brought up to him was, I was like, you know what you look like right now? And it was a picture of my grandpa, just completely bald. I was like, this man's 98 years old. Oh, man. And he died, and this is what you look like.
Oh, bro. I could only imagine.
Fuck that guy.
how the guy was feeling. At a certain point, he probably was like, man, this sucks.
It's just one of those people. There's like a couple of people in. I mean, you guys have these group people in your circle, right? And I have a lot of different circles just because I've been around so much, and you know, I keep a lot of friends for life. But there's people who like slip into your group that you don't really fuck with. They've just been around for a long time, so they're always there. But then I have an issue of kind of like, as long as they don't talk to me, we're good. Yeah. But when you start engaging me in that type of stuff, it's like, I actually don't like you. Yeah. So it's like, this is going to be a fucking issue.
Not to mention, they're like entering your arena. You know, it's like, come on, man, it's what I do. Like, roasting is, you know.
And there's people who have roasted me hard, dude. They've gotten me bad. I just gotta sit there and laugh it off. I'm like, damn, that shit gotta hurt my feelings, bro.
You got me.
I was like, you got me, bro. That's just fucking good. Yeah. But there's, once again, the people who can't dish it well that I'm really good friends with, they can't take it well. I just give it to them. I'm like, you got me. Because if I say something back, it makes our friendship weird. So I'm just like, it's whatever, dude. And I just say, oh, you got me. Yeah. Like, unless they go around telling people that they roast me all the time, and I'm like, it's on now, dude. Like, when we meet up, I'm just gonna start clowning on your fucking ass.
It's like keeping records.
Yo, my friends say this, they're like, dude, you have a list. Like, you have a list of people that wrong you. I was like, I fucking do. Well, let's get into the genius suggestion of the day. Okay. I feel like people fuck with this stuff, but let's see what. We'll save this one for the next one. Okay. Let's do this one. Okay. No last name. Let's leave the name out. This dude's name is Jordan. Hey, David. Been a fan for a long time. Hope you're doing good and shit. All right. This was fucking casual as fuck.
I mean, other than a fucking pandemic, I think we're doing okay.
Yeah, hope you're doing good and shit. Yeah. Hey, this motherfucker thug. Hope you're doing good and shit, bitch. But anyways, man, I'm 22, going on 23 years old. 50 Tyson, and I just
50 Tyson. Oh my god! Yeah, you remember? Oh shit! That has not even like entered my realm of thoughts in so long. Holy shit! 50
That's
Tyson,
one of the original funniest fucking viral videos.
He was so dope, man.
I'm 50 Tyson. I'm 50 Tyson. I'm 16. Next year I'ma be remix.
Oh my god! I'm gonna have to watch that when I get home later, dude.
Dude, people were calling him at the time retarded Tyson. Like, that's what they were saying.
That's fucked up.
That's not what I was saying. That was what people were saying.
I remember. Yeah.
But anyways, man, I'm 22, going on 23 years old, and I feel like I don't relate to like anyone around me. I feel like I'm always behind in life in some way. I've been the black sheep from of my family and friends, but I've just been the funny dude that people want around, like no genuine friendships. Okay, that's contradictory. I come from a lot of one-sided relationships with family and past friends. For example, they only speak to me if they need something or if it's convenient for them. The few people I sort of interact with even say I'm kind of a mysterious guy. Ooh. Because I don't really share much, but it's just because I always feel like everyone expects me to be the happy-go-lucky person, and I don't share the stuff I'm dealing with just because I'm used to people not really being there for me. Have you ever gone through this before or something similar?
Well, it's just a bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy at that point, no? Because if you're unwilling to share, if you're unwilling to, expose who you really are, how do you expect people to know who you really are?
That's what I'm saying. A lot of this is contradictory shit. What the fuck are you saying, guy? Like, I don't really have deep relationships, and you just said you don't share anything about yourself. Yeah, so what the fuck are you saying, man?
I think he's looking at it from the wrong perspective. I think he feels like he's already assumed that people won't accept him for who he is and how he's really right? And then so it's automatically a guard put up, and maybe it's even an insecurity, like, oh, if people really know who I am. But it's like, bro, that's the risk you got to take if you want to develop meaningful relationships and friendships with people.
Yeah, because this honestly is on you right now. If you're asking for advice to feel, I don't think this is what you're doing, but to feel pity, there's no pity, because this is actually your responsibility.
Yeah,
you literally stated that people expect you to always be happy because you don't show them a sad side. How's that their fault?
Yeah,
that's you.
Exactly. That is, and so there's obviously some like inner things he needs to work out in order for him to get to that level. Because I mean, I could understand how he has a reservation about exposing a certain side of him because, like I said, maybe he feels insecure or he doesn't want to be judged, whatever. But he has to overcome that. I mean, that's like an inner turmoil thing. And so once he gets past that, then you could really see like who vibes with you on that level. But then if you're constantly putting on this mask of you're just this joking, happy-go-lucky guy. Yeah. And then as a result of that, you think people expect that from you all the time, 24/7.
Whose fault is that?
Exactly. So
relationships, like friendships too, and relationships that you have is always weird, right? Because there's definitely a balance of how much you can unload onto somebody, right? And I've gone through this really specifically with a few friends of mine where I do understand where he's coming from. Like, for example, there are certain friends out there that you have that only use you as Joe would like to put it, as an emotional tampon, right? So whenever they only hit you up when shit goes bad, and they want to use you to fucking vent all the time. That's a very exhausting relationship.
Absolutely.
So I completely understand where you're coming from. If that's the only thing that you're doing with your friendships is you meet up and you're like, hey man, let me tell you how bad my day is, right? Then yeah, you're gonna be that fucking bitch in the group that nobody wants to be around.
Yeah.
Specifically, I'll tell you about this person that I know. We used to be really good friends when we came into LA. And mind you, I think for me, because at the time I think I had a softer heart, I would listen to a lot of people's problems in that type of sense, but I didn't kind of take into account how much it was draining me. I didn't think about that. I was like, yo, why am I always so fucking tired? Why am I sad? It's like, you know why? It's because this Grim Reaper that I'm around is just fucking sucking the life out of me. This succubus, right? And so the problem that I had with this individual is that every time I would meet her up, she would complain about how difficult her life is. She would talk about something about her past that was so fucked up, that was, which is understandable, right? But every interaction that I had with her was about her woe is me stuff. Now, mind you, I get it sometimes when I see them in a very tough and terrible situation. But this girl specifically, gorgeous girl, fucking pretty as shit, right? So it's pretty girl problems. And then on top of that, no matter how great things were happening for example, so this person was an actress, right? And she would book major roles, like really good fucking roles. And prior to that, a month ago, she would be like, I'm not booking anything, and this is the reason why I'm sad. She would book these roles, get fucking buco checks coming in. And then she goes, I'm so upset. I'm not booking the right roles that I want. I'm like, okay, just a few months ago, you were barely making ends meet, paying your bills. You're booking these huge things. Now you have a surplus of money. You're still not fucking happy, and you're still looking. And every time we have a conversation, you're complaining. And so I stopped talking to her for almost a year because it was fucking killing me. And then I was like, all right, cool. Maybe we could see each other or whatever, right? And then I started, I hit her up on text, like, yo, how have you been? Blah, blah, blah. didn't really decide to meet her up, but I actually saw her outside of Kangodong Pekjom in Los Angeles when it first opened up.
Yeah.
And so I see her, haven't seen her a hot minute, and then her family was here from out of town. The first thing she says right when I see her, hadn't seen her in a fucking year, right? I go, yo, how have you been? I haven't seen you in a while. Like, you know, we haven't kicked it in a long time. Like, you know, we were just talking to each other.
Yeah.
And she goes, oh, can I just tell you about my day? And I'm like, I looked at her, I said, I'm gonna go inside. And I just went straight inside and I just ignored her. I haven't talked to her in damn near like 6 years.
That's like just perpetual misery. And what do they say about misery? Misery loves company. You know?
I'm not a miserable person.
Yeah,
I don't need that shit.
Exactly. People don't understand that how draining it is to be around somebody like that.
And they think that you're the bad friend.
Yeah, it's like, dude, no, nobody wants to constantly be around a fucking whiner and a complainer and somebody who's bringing negativity all the time. Look, as a friend, I'm gonna be there for you when you need me, right? I'm gonna give you that kick in the ass if you need it sometimes. I'm gonna just be there as a listener sometimes, give you advice sometimes. But if you're constantly coming to me and just fucking complaining and whining, I don't need that type of negativity in my fucking life.
Yeah.
You figure your shit out and get your shit together. You're a fucking adult, you know? And so like, I completely get it, man. If I had, I've had, I'm not going to say maybe to that extent where somebody's just constantly complaining, but I've had my, you know, fair share of dealing with whiners and complainers. And it's like, at a certain point, you recognize, dude, this person's going to complain no matter what.
It doesn't matter what it is.
No matter what they, like you said, something that they complained about before got better, but they find a new thing to complain about now. Something is always wrong. And it's like, if something is always wrong, maybe something's wrong with you.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean?
Well, because they're not looking at things through a gracious lens, right?
Yeah.
There's no gratitude.
Cup is half empty for them. Very pessimistic.
All the fucking time.
Yeah.
And I understand when you feel like you might be that person, but there are times where, you know, if a majority of the times you're a happy-go-lucky, happy person, then you're allowed to vent and kind of process your thoughts with other people.
For
Friends,
sure.
honestly, like if you guys haven't gone through therapy, it's almost like having an unbiased best friend, but they have, you know, an expertise and they help you like filter through your thoughts. That's what a lot of therapy that people get is through their friendships. Like they do get to vent to each other sometimes. As long as like the reason why they're around you isn't for you to just constantly use and abuse that emotional part of your relationship and then toss them aside. So I think like he's being a little paranoid.
Yeah, if he, Jordan, man, if you want people to know the real you, you got to show people the real you, and you cannot be scared of like being judged for it or you know, being looked at. I mean, listen, man, if you got some strange fucking quirks, or don't like automatically, you know, first time you meet somebody, be like, can I suck your dirty toes? You know what I mean? Like, if that's the real you, bro, there's gonna be a little bit of greasing before you can get to that. But if it's other shit, man, like,
because you really do sound like a pessimist. Like when I read this stuff, you says I've been the black sheep of my family and friends, but I've just been the funny dude that people wanted around. First of all, that doesn't make any sense. How can you be the black sheep and then everybody wants you around?
Yeah, I mean, black sheeps are usually an outcast.
They don't want you around.
Yeah,
like they hate your guts.
Yeah. So I don't know exactly what he means by that, but I can see like, from a standpoint of people expect you to be a certain way because that's all you've shown them, I can understand that. But again, that's on him, you know. And
I guess like, I mean, once again, like you haven't set these boundaries and you haven't really defined your friendships and relationship with these people, and that's your personal responsibility. Yeah. And I know, because he mentioned one part that people only call him when they need something, which I get, dude. There was a dude in high school that I knew just like that, and I fucking hated him. Yeah. Like he's one of the people that comes into the group that every time we have a function, I have to stay away from him because I know he's that person. Like, so the last time I actually spoke to him through my phone was like quite a few years back. And it's because, you know, as you get older, your level of bullshit or the amount of bullshit that you could deal with becomes really, really small. Right. So I haven't talked to this guy in a hot minute. And hits me up. He goes, yo, brother, how have you been? Like, how's life? And I just literally wrote back to him, what the fuck do you want? What do you want? And lo and behold, he was asking me for a favor. It's like, nah, there's no favors here. I haven't talked to you in a long time. We don't have that rapport. There's none of that shit. What I would have preferred is if you just came straight up and asked me. I still would have rejected you, but I would have hated you.
I would have respected it.
I would have respected it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have hated you as much. You know? So yeah, I understand what that's like. There's a lot of people in these cases, especially when you start doing really well for yourself, people, you'll start to see people come out the woodwork. You know? It's an odd place to be in.
Yeah, but the thing to take away from this, Jordan, is that you gotta not be scared to be the real you, man. You gotta, if you want people to see and you want to feel accepted for who you are, that first step is on you. You gotta take it, and basically it's on you to show people that. And from that point on, hopefully you can meet people who are down with all of, you know, the full spectrum of your personality and who you are, versus just this funny and easygoing guy. But
I mean, he might be, 22, 23. I think when you're at that age, it's like, sometimes I felt when I was younger, I kind of wore too many hats, right? So I would tend to mold myself to what other people wanted me to be, just because I would try to make them feel comfortable, which is a terrible idea. Listen, we all, I don't know what the term is, like code switching or some shit like that. We'll change the way that we speak, our mannerisms and stuff to a certain extent, you know, just so you could be comfortable with the crowd to kind of feel things out.
Yeah.
Everybody does that stuff. But if you're changing the core of who you are just so you can mold into another group, yo, that shit is fucking exhausting, man. Yeah. It's too tiring.
Yeah. But I mean, I feel like it's a process that certain people need to go through to learn like who they truly are, what their identity is. Other people, you know, get the grasp of it earlier, but yeah, it's a process for everyone. And so 22, 23, I feel like he still has a lot to learn and go through.
Yeah, man, you'll get to that point one day like me where you're super jaded. You don't give a fuck. Like, you gotta, this is the most liberating fucking time of my life where it's just like, I don't give a fuck, man. I did a favor for somebody recently. Damn, I wish I could say names. It would make things a lot easier. I'm gonna just say fake names. So I did a favor for my friend Jackie, right? So because of my online persona, this favor that I did for her, she mentioned that one of her friends talked to her through like DMs or something like that. They're like, "Oh, you got to meet David So, right?" And she goes, "Yeah, it's actually his fiance is actually a really good friend of mine, and so, you know, he helped me out with a couple of things." And this person wrote like, "He's not really as nice as he says he is, right?" And I'm like, "Well," and she mentioned this to me. She goes, "Yeah, I got a little irritated when that person said that about you." And I'm like, I was like, "Listen, if I gave a fuck about what everybody thought about me, or if I had $1 for every time somebody said something negative about me, I'd be fucking rich out of my mind." I was like, you got to think about it like this. If this person, I'm living in this person's head rent fucking free. Yeah. I don't know this person. Yeah. This person saw me on a couple of videos. I probably said something very, disparaging towards that person, or maybe I wrote a negative comment towards them. Yeah. And now that individual had to go out of their way to ask you if I'm a really nice person in real life because they hate my guts, right? And then she was like, "Yeah, I was like sitting there. I had to defend you, saying like, no, you were like one of the nicest people I've met. You're very cordial, and you know, you're a version of who you are in your videos, but you're very nice." I was like, "You don't have to do all that. All you have to tell them is fuck off. Yeah. If you want to meet him, come say something to him. Yeah. Simple as shit. You know what I mean? But like, that's the thing too. When you start to realize when who you are starts to irritate somebody else's spirit, that's on them. That is not on you at that point. You're just being your fucking self. Yeah. I'm at this point now in my life where you will get there too eventually. Not to say that you're not an unempathetic person, not to say that you're not going to care about how you carry yourself and how you come across to other people.
You got to have sense.
You got to have sense. You have to have tact. Yeah. These are all there too, right? Yeah. But the fact that I'm not in a point in my life where I feel like after that person told me this information, am I going to go back and say, "Oh shit, I should probably change the way I do my videos. I should probably change the way I say things out." Yeah, exactly. Yo, fuck that. Suck my fucking nuts. Yeah. If I'm living in your head rent free, that's your problem. You need to evict me out of there.
Yeah. No, that's always been me too, man. Since I was young, I never gave a fuck what anybody thought about me. It's like, you got a problem with me? That's too fucking bad, man. Nobody said you gotta be friends with me. Nobody said you gotta like me. Shit.
Yeah,
you know?
I never attacked you personally. Yeah, like if my spirit irritates you,
maybe sometimes I have. You know, and that's fine. It's justified that you don't like me then.
Yeah, you're going bald, man.
But whatever the case is, like I really don't give a fuck what people think about me. Outside of the people that I care and love for, you know, if somebody that I love is telling me, "Oh, I'm hurting them in a certain way, or I'm causing some sort of like problem," then I'll listen, you know. But if it's like some rando or like some acquaintance, I don't give a fuck. You could suck my dick, bitch.
That's really what it is.
Yeah.
When you get to that point in your life where you could tell somebody freely to suck your dick, that's a great, it's liberating.
Yeah.
Right? Because when you're younger, you just want to make sure that you fit in. You don't want to like stir the pot or nothing. Mm-hmm. And you're probably in that right now. You're overthinking these situations. You're like, oh, what if I open too much? Are they going to think I'm overbearing?
Yeah.
If I'm not happy, nobody wants to be my friend.
Yeah.
Bro, shut the fuck up. Like, shut the fuck. You are so fucking annoying right now, dude. I'm surprised that you're the black sheep and everybody wants to be around you. Like, that makes no fucking sense. What the fuck are you talking about, dude?
I think maybe what he's saying is like, I'm completely going off assumption here, but when he's saying he's the black sheep, maybe like his interests are different from what the status quo is, you know, like things that most people would do and say or whatever. He kind of strays from that. I don't know. It almost sounds like a self-proclaimed title rather than like the family outcasting him as the black sheep. Like, yeah, you're the black sheep of the family. You're a fucking disappointment. You know, like you're a piece of shit.
He's like Eminem in the bathroom, just fucking looking at himself in the mirror.
I feel like a lot of this is like kind of coming from within. Feelings, these feelings are coming from within, insecure, whatever. But
you'll be so surprised, like the power of just like positive thought.
Yeah,
that shit sound like some hippie shit, but I think when we define it like that, it sounds a little weird. But I'm definitely at that wavelength of just wishing good things to happen, and it happens, right? We talked about it on JK News where they were doing like, I don't know, there's probably Japanese people that was doing this dumb study, but it was like Japanese people be studying some stupid shit, dude.
All kinds of crazy quirks. I love it.
But it was like speaking to like these ice forms and the ice particles, and when you would look at it under a microscope, when you would say negative things, like the ice structures were all fucked up. Yeah. But when you said positive things, it was like these beautiful fucking structures.
Now, before they were looking through the microscope, were they also taking some acid?
And they were high as fuck.
Yeah. It's like, well, step one.
Drop some acid, dude. And see this shit.
Because that sounds like...
That's some crazy shit.
Yeah, that's some crazy shit right there.
But there's like... I'm not sure. We got to look this up. But there was like studies where they were talking about if you spoke kindly to plants, like they would even grow better or something like that type of stuff, because they're living beings or something like that. I'm curious to see how that happens, because I spoke really kindly to my tomato plants and that bitch only gave me 2 tomatoes. Fucking cunt bag. Pissed me off, dude.
But you know, there's also that the idea, right, like even if you're in a shit mood or not feeling good, if you smile, the act of smiling, right,
will make you feel better.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure there were studies done on that too.
They do that with dogs too. When you train dogs who are timid and scared, when you walk with your dog, they'll ask you to lift your dog's tail up, because the motor function of having their tail up is a sign of them being secure and happy and also confident. Yeah. So dogs who are scared, they'll walk them and they'll hold their tail up and it helps them out.
Yeah, I would just helicopter it. Like, come on, buddy.
Let's go. Yeah, man. I think it's hard for us to also kind of look at ourselves from an outside lens, right?
For sure.
Because for as far as I know, he says he's like the belle of the ball. Like he's like this super social guy and everybody loves him. But what if you come into the room and I see you in real life and they're like, yo, this fucking guy Jordan's here again. Fucking loser. Has the name of Michael Jordan but can't even touch a basketball. Who knows? You might be that guy.
Yeah, I mean, that is a good point though. You really do have to try to be honest with yourself of who you are and how you're perceived, you know? Because that's definitely I think a healthy step towards like you finding your community, right? If you're trying to be somebody that you're not ever gonna find your community, right? And then so like if your perception is, oh, people only want to see the happy-go-lucky joking Jordan, right? Then they don't know you, so they can't be the community you're seeking because they don't know what other part of Jordan exists, you know?
And maybe those group of friends are probably not the one for you.
Yeah.
For example, I've talked about multiple times in this podcast, like I wanted to be around like thugs. I did not belong there. I was the odd person out. Yeah. You want to talk about a feeling of not belonging? That's me, dude. Right. I'm over here just in the corner, just like, where am I? Like, why am I here?
In hindsight, you're like, why did I put myself through so much stress and anxiety?
I got so many stories about being in these dangerous situations where if I wish somebody just had a camcorder and you see all these people just like bandana colored out, and I'm just sitting here just with glasses and a split haircut, just like who the fuck is this loser here? And I'm like, look, I'm with this dude, you know, and I'm just sitting there quiet, not saying anything at all. Yeah. And I didn't belong there. If you want to talk about being a black sheep, I guess I was the black sheep of that group.
Yeah, you know what you just mentioned reminded me of a thought that I had a long time ago, but the whole, you know, you said if there was a camcorder recording of like, you know, all these, I had an idea, because now we're in a time and space where it's realistic, very realistic, to be able to document your life in real time, right? So I had this idea of like, what if there's somebody out there who's documenting their life in real time right now, and the plan is once they get to an age where like all the kind of their youth is gone and all the fun things that they did when they were younger, they watch it back in real time.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? So like when you turn 70, you're like, you know what? I want to relive my 20s. And so I'm going to watch in real time what my day-to-day was like in the 20s.
There'd be a lot of jacking off. It's like, yo, this fool jacked off everywhere, man. This fool, yo, you know, I remember one time, I think I said this on JK News, but I remember one time I was so fucking horny. Like, and then I had to go to my parents' store, right? And there was this...
This took another left. I took a left.
So I was at the beauty supply store, right? And this fucking fine ass girl came in with a fat ass and everything, right? And just look, I'm in high school right now. My dick would get hard over anything, dude.
Right.
Like to the point where sometimes a dude would walk in, my dick would get hard, and I'd be like, I'm like, yo, why is my dick hard right now? It's like, oh no, those two are separate things. They don't work. My dick's just hard for no reason. But they would, like, I would just be chilling, and then this one fucking fine ass girl came in with a fat ass, and then this boner would not go away.
Oh man.
It was pissing me off.
Yeah.
Because even after she left, I wasn't thinking about it at all. But my fucking dick was still hard, and I had to sit down on the chair, cross my legs.
The art of hiding the boner during your teenage years.
I had to hide this boner, and there's only one little thin path that would go all the way to the back into the bathroom. So I had to wait for my mom to go help a customer, or there had to be one customer there that my mom would trust, so I didn't have to be there.
Yeah.
And so I had to fucking wait, and then she got down and she went over to go help the customer. I was like, I'm gonna go to the back to go to the bathroom, and I went to the bathroom. I was like, I have to jack off. There's only one way. There was only way to solve this problem. In that dingy little bathroom at my parents' store, at a beauty supply store, I fucking whacked off with the fury. And I remember that's the first time I jacked off standing up.
Oh wow!
I've never jacked off standing up before.
Yeah.
Right. And after that, I was like, why don't I just jack off in the shower? Like, it's such an easy cleanup.
You had an epiphany.
Yeah, and it started unfolding this whole new world, this Aladdin moment, a whole new world of just jacking off in the shower.
Open your eyes.
Yeah, but I just remember I was just whacking off in the bathroom. Hurry up! The customer's here, so I had to fucking jack off as fast as possible, and I just nutted right in the toilet.
The fact that you felt like I need to do this right. I feel so horny that I need to do this right now. I don't think I've ever had a moment like that.
Dog, my fucking boner wouldn't go away.
It wouldn't go.
It was like a solid I mean, for me, it felt like 10 minutes, but I'm pretty sure it was probably like 3 or 4 minutes. But you know, it wouldn't listen.
You just had a throbbing cock, man, that needed to be released.
Fucking Veth. I still remember that ass till this fucking goddamn day, dude.
Speaking of touching genitalia, how about that Rudy Giuliani?
Oh yeah, this is what I was telling me about. What happened again? It was
so. As some of you guys might know, Borat 2 is coming out, and you know Borat always does these interviews with real people, and they get them. He always finds a way to get them in these precarious situations, and he managed to get them to say and do things that they normally might not do. And in this
genius,
in this scenario with Rudy Giuliani, apparently the actor that's playing his daughter was posing as a news reporter for a conservative news outlet. And then so hold on, let me pull up and read, because there was an article written about this shit. Okay, so in the film released on Friday, the former New York mayor and current personal attorney to Donald Trump is seen reaching into his trousers and apparently touching his genitals while reclining on a bed in the presence of the actor playing Borat's daughter, who is posing as a TV journalist.
What the? Wait, explain to me what the fuck is happening. So
let me read the rest of it for you. So following an obsequious interview for a fake conservative news program, the pair retreat at her suggestion for a drink to the bedroom of a hotel suite, which is rigged with concealed cameras. After she removes his microphone, Giuliani, 76, can be seen lying back on the bed, fiddling with his untucked shirt and reaching into his trousers. They are then interrupted by Borat, who runs in and says, "She's 15. She's too old for you." Very nice.
Very nice. She's a 15. She's too old for you.
Oh my God, that's gonna be so fucking damning, dude. Oh my, in the middle of election, you know?
Wait, how the fuck? How do they get this recorded?
I don't know, man.
And how is it released without them getting sued?
I have no fucking idea, but that's what I'm saying. Like, dude, everything that Sacha Baron Cohen releases as these characters, you always ask that. How the fuck did this get released?
Wait, married? Is he married?
I'm pretty sure he's married. Yeah, I'm pretty fucking sure he's married.
He wasn't getting his dick sucked. He was jacking off to her in the room.
So it's like, I don't know exactly if he was masturbating, but it looked like he was trying to get himself going, you know?
Oh, that's what he was doing. Yeah. Some old people shit. Yeah.
I can't relate to it, but
he had a conversation with his dick like, "Please don't fail me now. Please." Like, he just started slapping it. Come on.
You gotta do it, Rudy. Come on.
That's fucking funny, dude.
Yes, I can't wait to see Borat.
Dude, man, if you know what's so interesting about that stuff, it's a comedy, but that does show, I don't want to say like corrupt politics, but it's more like
just how weird these fucking people are, man.
People in power are fucking weird, man.
Yeah, dude.
What is it about them? Is it because you guys couldn't get pussy when you were younger and so you just have to do it now? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Man. I think there's a whole spectrum of reasons of why they are the way they are. I mean, I think celebrities, I think it's at a certain point, they start getting weird, maybe sexually, and their taste sexually because it's too easy.
Yeah.
If you're a dude, you get, or a straight dude, you're getting pussy all the time. Mm-hmm. If you're a straight female, you're getting dick all the time, anytime you want it. And it's so easy to come by at a certain point. He's like, you know what? Standard pussy and standard dick is boring to me now.
Yeah.
I want some freaky shit.
Yeah.
You know, I want to explore a butthole of the other gender. You know, like, you know what I mean?
That's fucking weird, man.
Yeah.
Yo, I be hearing stuff about like celebrity musicians and talking about how they and this is like people in like the studio circuit, and there's constant rumors about them being, you know, whatever, fluid, bisexual, or whatever. These are like married like dudes and women, and it's like they've gotten, like, for example, in the most crudest way possible, some of these guys are so fucking popular that they can literally get any woman that they want, that out of nowhere they just like, what's dick like? You know, and then they're like, let me just see what it's like to get fucked in my ass.
Yeah.
And they just start doing, and then from that one, that's like a gateway to other weird shit.
Right.
So I could imagine with some of these celebrities, what happens to their psyche when they get bored with just regular fucking dick or vagina.
Yeah.
And they want to try weird shit.
Yeah.
That's why you have some of these motherfuckers, they're fucking insane, dude.
Yeah. And also, I think it's a reason why some of these celebrities come off so rapey, because like to them, it's so
given.
Easy. You know what I mean? Like they don't even have like bare minimum effort. And it's all like almost a given that it's going to happen. But then sometimes you're going to meet people who are like, what the fuck? Nah, I'm not going to suck your dick, right? The fuck?
Yeah.
It's like, what you mean you're not going to suck?
Yeah. This is what usually happens.
Yeah. You don't know who I am?
Yeah.
So I know exactly who the fuck you are, and I'm going to fucking sue your ass now.
I know who the fuck you are, you fucking pervert.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Dude, Borat is a genius, man. I had this, let me tell you about this. So at a certain point, I was pitching a lot of show ideas, right? So if you guys ever pitch a show idea, I'm not saying that this should be the best advice, but this is advice that was given to me anyways. When you're kind of pitching comedy shows, studios kind of have to be mindful of advertisement money and everything else. And like, so when you kind of shoot for these crazy ideas, you shoot for the stars, and then you let them chop it down to whatever you want to do. Yeah. So I had this like very interesting. So I had an idea that was inspired by Borat.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, cool. So you guys already know I had this character called Kim Jong-il. So Kim Jong-il is essentially a North Korean defector, right? Leader of North Korea, and he wants to come to America to do regular people shit, but he still does stuff in his North Korean dictator way. So it's not really normal people shit.
Yeah.
He just threatens people and says that, you know, I'm the best at everything, and they just agree.
Yeah.
So I had this idea with a buddy of mine named Deepak, and I still kind of want to create this if somebody is willing to do it. But it will require for there to be actors, and there's supposed to be and non-actors in there. So I wanted to do stuff where it's a series where this guy Kim Jong-il goes around and he wants to be the number one at everything, but he's learning how to be a human and learning about American customs. So for example, the first episode, and I pitched this in a meeting, and people were half the room was laughing, the other half was mortified. So I was like,
well, that's how you know it's good, though.
Exactly. I was like, so this is what the idea is. So I kind of give them the premise about who Kim Jong-il is, and people are laughing. They're like, oh, this is really interesting. I was like, so the first episode, he's going to be a woman's self-defense teacher, right? And people are kind of smiling, and I was like, but he's not going to teach women how to defend themselves. He's going to teach men how to defend themselves against women who know self-defense. What the? So because he's trying to,
so he's using them as a prop.
So he's looking for an open market. So he's like, oh well. So he's a self-defense teacher for rapists. So like he basically comes in, and there's like a sign that says no means maybe. That's like the first thing.
Oh my god.
So he has a toolkit where one toolkit is a jar of cold milk, and the other one is pliers, and the pliers is to crush the rape whistle, and the milk is for pepper spray so you can put it in your eyes. And so there was this, and literally half the room is dying laughing, and the other room is just kind of mortified, right? But I'm trying to explain to them, and they're like, "Well, what's the takeaway from this?" I was like, "Well, the takeaway is that he's not successful at this." So there's half-planted actors and actresses, and some of the actors are really into it. It's all the males. They're they're taking like serious notes. But there's also women in the self-defense class, so they think it's an actual women's self-defense class, and so we're recording them just mortified about the whole situation. But then afterwards, like the thing is like, I'm not saying rape is okay, obviously. So the thing is, like, through this whole course, these people are freaking out and getting mad, and he starts to learn, like, oh, I can't just run business with the way that I want. So he starts to learn how to be a normal human being. Because he can't understand why people are mad. And that's how he starts to learn about how to be a functioning member of society, by fucking up in all these situations.
The journey of humanizing Kim Jong-il.
Exactly. So you're trying to humanize this terrible leader, this dictator that doesn't know any better. And so that's what the idea was, and it almost got picked up, but it was like during some weird times when North Korea was hacking everybody, so they didn't want to touch any of it. But that shit was interesting. Like, just watching because they have comedian writers there. They have comics who are they're dying laughing. Right. But then some of the execs are just like, you see them visibly sweating. Like, I don't know if we could do. I was like, but come on. A fucking North Korean dictator that comes to open up a woman's self-defense class to teach rapists how to defend themselves against women. I was like, that is ridiculous.
That's fucking ridiculous.
And by the way, too, just to paint it, like, he's getting his ass whooped throughout the whole thing. None of this is working. All these guys get fucked up by the women. So I know how to navigate it, right? I don't want people to walk away thinking like, oh, this is okay. I'm making fun of these type of people, like these people who are so stupid and aloof. So like, I tried to pitch that idea and it did not go through.
Well, the fact that you got the reaction like that, though, where it was so polarizing, that's what you want.
How fucking funny that is.
That would be so ridiculous that you have no choice but to find comedy in it. You know what I mean?
That when I pitched that idea, like, I still want to make it till this day. Like, I'm putting it out right now. I mean, you might see it one day.
Hey, come on, support this Kim Jong-il.
I have a pilot episode that I shot.
Really?
But it just didn't turn out that well.
Oh, okay.
We were trying to pitch it. It didn't work out. But because nobody wanted to do this idea, because it's very touchy and hard.
In the pilot, you also had half and half, like actors and
no, this one was just all full actors. This one, that episode was him trying to be an actor, and then I had this whole, it was like a mockumentary style type of thing. So the spin was a little different. But this other one that I have was just supposed to be like almost like found footage, like security. You can't see shit. It looks real as fuck, which it is. It's like half real, half not. So you try to fool this audience. But I wanted to try that out super bad.
The memory that always sticks out to me with Kim Jong-il is when you slap that dude in the face.
You talking about my boy Chris?
I don't know his name, but that shit. Oh man, that shit had me rolling with that, because it was so unexpected.
Dog, it still makes me laugh to this day. You know what the funny thing is? I don't think I even told him I was gonna slap him.
His reaction looks like it, dude. Oh my, that shit.
I think I just slapped the shit out of him, and he was like,
"You gotta include that clip in this podcast, bro."
Dog, I love that character, dude, because the character is such a terrible human being.
Exactly.
He's such a terrible person, dude.
And the fact that it's like a different angle because he's coming from, I mean, first of all, North Korea is the hermit kingdom. So they're closed off completely.
He's ignorance, pure ignorance.
Yeah, absolute ignorance. And on top of that, he has just unquestioned power and authority.
Assassins everywhere. So you can't really do anything about it.
And then for that to even have some sort of restriction, even the slightest amount, that's a whole new foreign territory for him, you know?
And even then, when I started humanizing him a little bit, because even no matter how much power he has, he's still a little bitch when it comes to his wife. That's when Arden came on for that episode where I had Z in there.
Yeah.
And Z had the hardest time, dude. We had to do so many takes because he couldn't stop laughing. And because he would crack up, I would crack up, dude.
Yeah.
Because I'm just abusing the fuck out of him, too.
Yeah, I remember you're like kicking him. And
Dog, that shit was hard to get through, man. I miss doing sketches, though.
Yeah, well, hopefully somebody sees this out there and, throws a little money his way.
Hey, pick it up, dude. Let's make it happen, dude. I would do some funny ass shit.
Yeah.
But people have to not be scared. That's the thing. Like,
you got to be definitely willing to take some criticism for that shit. You know, like...
Because I'm not scared to put content like that. I'll defend that shit all the way down.
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty simple.
Well, that also reminds me of kind of like Joaquin Phoenix's project when he was trying to be a rapper, right? People didn't know that was a character he was playing. Yeah. It was a project between him and Casey Affleck, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then so he went full method on that shit and he was in that character on talk shows, it out in public. And then later on, it came to light that, this was
a character.
Yeah. But at the time, people were like, is this a fucking joke or is this guy for real? Yeah. And they're like, oh my God, this guy is for reals right now. Yeah. He's really serious about giving up acting and being a rapper. And then it was so fucking polarizing.
Damn, I didn't even know about this.
Oh, you didn't know about this?
I didn't know about this.
Bro, Joaquin Phoenix went into this hip hop mode. And then he was like, I'm going to be a rapper. I'm giving up acting. And then he went on the Letterman show to talk about it. And he was being super fucking awkward, very socially. And Letterman didn't know what to do about it either. Yeah. Because he was like, is this guy playing a character or is he for reals right now? But that's the thing. He didn't reveal it until I think a year later after the fact. And they were making a mockumentary.
That's fucking hilarious, dude.
So that's another spin on that type of shit. They knew exactly who he was, but he was playing a character and
the whole time.
Yeah, didn't tell anybody.
Damn, these actors are nuts, dude. Yeah. I'm telling you, the best actors are the most fucking psychotic human beings I've ever met.
Yeah, man. Joaquin Phoenix
They're weird.
Incredible fucking actor,
Who was the actor? Heath Ledger. I heard he was playing, he was in method the whole time when he was doing the Joker.
Yeah.
This would be at a cafe, just being the Joker, and he would scare people. He would freak people the fuck out because he wouldn't break character.
Why so serious?
Yeah, he's acting like the weird, switchy, paranoid Joker that he's playing in the film.
Yeah.
But he's at a fucking cafe eating a croissant. Come on, dog. Chill for a second. But he got fucked up. Jack Nicholson was kind of warning him about that character. It's like, hey, you can't live in that character for too long. It's gonna fuck you up.
So I there was a lot of kind of these stories and stuff that came out of how that's the role that drove him to commit suicide or overdose and whatever. But just as much evidence came out to counter that as well. So it's more of adding to kind of the story of it. It makes it seem a lot more,
because it kind of came out of nowhere for a lot of people.
Yeah. It makes it seem a lot more mysterious and ooh, that role must have really been that great.
There's roles that fuck people up though, because
I'm sure.
Remember Breaking Bad? Who was the main character, the young guy, the drug dealer?
Jesse Pinkman?
Yeah, so Jesse, Malcolm in the Middle's dad, what's his name?
What, the character's name or the actor?
Both.
Bryan Cranston and Walter White.
Okay, so Bryan Cranston, I guess the guy who's playing Jesse, he was doing a lot of method acting. I forgot where I read this, but he was doing it too much to the point where I think he was at a bar and he was still in that weird paranoid character.
Yeah, bitch.
Yeah. And then Bryan Cranston was telling him to cut that shit out. It's this is too much. Yeah. This is just very unnecessary. He was like, you're kind of taking this overboard. You don't need to do it. As an actor, cut that shit out. Because I guess it's not really healthy for your psyche or some shit like that.
Oh, at least he had something an experienced, respected actor to kind of pull him out of it. Yeah. Be like, hey, that's you're crossing the line. But some of these other actors, they just go full 100%,
Because I do understand what it's like. Because when I was on Google, Justin kind of didn't make me do method, but he kind of made me live in the character for a long time when he was coaching my acting. And that shit made me into a very angry person. Like it because of the scenes that we were shooting, and it kind of leaked on this. I got so fucking mad on set. Well, mind you, it was deserved because Justin pissed me off. But I fucking broke a table. I smashed his fucking chair.
Yeah.
I started fucking ramming my fist into this fucking fence. I smashed the fucking fence.
Yeah.
I sat down and I was like, this fucking role's fucking me up right now. You know, because I was like, I don't think if I was normal, like this, I wouldn't have gotten that mad.
I don't see how it doesn't affect a normal human being.
Like you're living with this character every night for fucking 2 months straight.
You could only compartmentalize so much. Yeah, you know,
I like shaved my head earlier. I gained weight. I started dressing like the character every day, and I'm like, this is exhausting.
That's why I would love to spend a day with somebody like Daniel Day-Lewis, who's been doing method acting his whole fucking life.
He looks like a crazy person.
Yeah, I would like to just have a conversation with this guy.
Daniel Day-Lewis, if he had to play a gay dude, he'd be sucking dick for 2 years. Daniel Day-Lewis,
I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it.
I've deep throated 17 cocks in the last year. It's like you didn't have to do that. You're just playing. You're playing a gay person.
Yeah, you taking it to extreme
levels.
levels.
Gay people don't even suck dick that much, dude. Like it doesn't work that way, man.
Well, respect.
I've done it.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the best actors of our generation for sure.
Daniel Day-Lewis, baby.
Yeah.
You know what's weird? Damn, I wonder if I should bring this up for another podcast topic. We'll skip this. We'll talk about another one just because it might get a little fucking heavy. But
all right.
But when I wanted to be an actor, I think like I definitely look towards a lot of actors like that, like Daniel Day-Lewis, just because to see somebody do something where it's that convincing blows my mind.
Yeah.
Like you're convinced. Even people don't understand. Some actors are so fucking good. They play a villain so well. You say you hate the actor,
right?
But you don't hate the actor. You actually hate the character. Yeah,
exactly.
That's how fucking good they are.
Yeah.
You know, because I've done that too. But remember that kid who played Lucius Draco Malfoy? He stopped acting because people were bullying him.
Who?
Draco Malfoy from Harry Potter.
I never watched Harry Potter, bro.
You're going to hell, dude. You've never watched Harry Potter?
I never got into it. It was like,
what's wrong with you, man?
Yeah, it was like I think I was too old by the time it really started getting popular.
It's for everybody.
I know it's for everybody, but like I looked at it as like, it's not my cup of tea. You know,
Mariel just watched Harry Potter for the first time during the quarantine.
I'm surprised. She looks like somebody who would be like into that type of shit.
She's scared of it because it's like creepy. It's like magic and all that stuff. Yeah, she doesn't like creepy shit like that.
I'll tell you what though, there is a Harry Potter video game coming out though. That shit looks pretty dope. I'm not even a Harry Potter fan.
No, you can't play it until you watch it, dude.
All right, well I'm not ever gonna watch it.
You never saw that shit?
I've never seen it.
That's fucking nuts. Well, dude, Harry Potter Land's only fun if you know what's going on.
So people say. Look, when I was in London, I went to the Harry Potter store to get because my sister's a big Harry Potter fan. Yeah. I was there and I'm like, yo, these people are on some shit, bro. They're like, they're fucking hardcore with it. Yeah, you know?
Avada Kedavra.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm trying to get some for her, and I have no fucking clue what. There's like different schools and like, and I'm like, yo, which one's the villain and which one's the good guys?
Well, there's no good or bad guy, dude. It just depends on the school that you're from.
I just know Harry Potter, Daniel Radcliffe. I know that guy. I know he's Harry Potter, and then you got that no-nose motherfucker,
Voldemort.
You know,
Is it that no-nose motherfucker?
Yeah, I just know that's the creepy dude, and I assume he's the villain just because of the way he looks. So I'm like trying to get my sister shit, and I have no clue. And there's a time difference, so I can't even like hit her up, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm there, and first of all, I had to wait in line to get in there, and I'm like, I can't believe these motherfuckers are waiting in line to pay money. Like you're waiting in line willingly to pay money, give them money.
They have fandom. Like Star Wars people have fandom. You know, could be because J.K. Rowling's like the most wealthiest person in Britain or London or something like that.
No, so it was definitely interesting to see, and I'm like, man, people are really about this Harry Potter shit. And I remember I recorded because they got that cart going into the wall. What's that shit called?
Oh, so that's when you go into the train station, so you can go into the other wizardry world.
I recorded a guy because he was so into it, but this dude was like 30-something years old.
Oh, well, that's around that makes sense. If he's 30-something years old, then it was around his time.
Okay, yeah, and it was just cracking me up because it's like he was so into it and it was so genuine, you know. I mean, I didn't like clown on the dude or anything.
That would have been me, fool. Talking about me right now.
Into Harry Potter?
Well, I didn't read all the books, but I love the movies. And when I was at the Men's Warehouse, we had the full DVD set, and that's the only thing we could watch. So I watched that film from front to end like a million times.
You know what? Maybe I'll give it a chance, man. Maybe I'll try one.
It's slow in the first two, but then the third, fourth, fifth, and sixth one, that's when it's like it gets because it becomes more dark.
Okay, so I'll give you an example of like me giving something a try when I wasn't really into it. Lord of the Rings, right? Like, you know, Lord of the Rings is huge.
Is shit, dude.
I know. And then so like I was never into it, but I got a friend who's into it, and he's like, "Hey, you just got to check it out." So I ended up watching all three.
They're long too. They're like 3 hour movies
super
each.
fucking long. And I got out of it, and I'm like, yeah, I could have done without that. I didn't need that in my life, you know.
I mean, so good though.
No, I could see why people get into it, and like. It's not that I'm not into the fantasy shit at all. Some of it is appealing to me, but just.
But did you watch Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
How you not like Lord of the Rings?
That's the thing. So that's what I'm saying. Like Lord of the Rings didn't.
You know why? Because there's no fucking pussy and tits in that. That's why.
Maybe. You know.
Because I remember because I couldn't get into Game of Thrones because I watched the first season and I hated it. I was like, this is so fucking predictable.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, I'm over this shit.
I'm glad you mentioned Lord of the Rings though, because what you're mentioning right now of an actor quitting, Joffrey. The same thing. That was his main, like first time getting a main role. And he so many people hated on him, right?
That's how good he is.
Yeah, that's how good he, but if you listen to this guy speak, I mean, first of all, he's really intelligent, but he's like actually kind of meek and like, you know.
Hi guys.
Yeah. And he quit acting. He's just like, I'm going to focus on studies.
Because they fucking bullied him, huh?
I don't know the exact reason.
I bet you because
he was getting death threats and shit, I think.
Well, I'll tell you this, man. If I met that kid in person, I spit in his fucking mouth. How about that? That's how much how good he is.
Yeah.
I would literally spit in his mouth like you son of a bitch.
No, but I always love. That's why I love seeing kind of like interviews of these actors where I'm like, dude, they played such a fucking like good role of a. Like a villain or of a certain character. I want to see if they actually talk like that or their mannerisms are like. Most of the time, it's like completely.
Of course, they're fucking acting.
Yeah,
people don't get it, man. That's like getting mad. That's like getting mad at fucking Michael B. Jordan, right? Because he was a villain in Black Panther. You see him in person.
You fucker. Yeah. You know, how dare you?
He died from cancer. I'm like, he was acting in a film, you son of a bitch. What are you talking about, you stupid asshole?
Yeah. He was also Creed. Don't you forget.
That's fucking Creed's.
Yeah.
That's Apollo Creed's son, you fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah. But dude, Harry Potter has crazy fandom, man. Like,
no, I know it does. Yeah.
Like, I even had the app to see what school I came from, dude. Gryffindor, baby.
What you mean? What school you came from?
So there's a
the fuck you talking about right now?
So there's an app where you can see what school you're from. So in Harry Potter, there's a magical hat that assigns you to a specific school within the wizarding school. So you can be Hufflepuff, Gryffindor, Slytherin, or some other bullshit. I can't remember. There's 4 of them.
Yeah.
And so that hat looks into your thoughts and your past and your history and who you are and your personality to place you in a school. So they have an app for that where you answer a bunch of questions to see what school you end up in.
Oh, okay. So you got to answer. I was like, the fuck this app doing looking into your...
It says I belong at UC Berkeley.
Yeah, put it next to your ear. Scanning complete.
Yeah. And so they'll do that, and then you can find out what Patronus you are. And so Patronus is a spell that reflects who you are on the inside, and then it fights off these demons called Dementors. You don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
I'm like, okay, I know. I remember Dementors because Michael Scott talked about it when
the Dementors. They were everywhere.
Prison Mike.
Yeah, Prison Mike.
Was it right? You would be the belle of the ball.
You would be the belle of the ball.
Don't drop this up. Don't drop this up.
They kick him out. Yeah. They're like, the Dementors, they were everywhere.
Yeah. What did you eat? We ate gruel. Gruel sandwiches.
Gruel everything.
So I know that the mentors are some sort of monsters from Harry Potter, I'm guessing. But yeah, like 98% of what you said, I have no fucking clue what you're talking about.
Probably the funniest thing that ever came out of Harry Potter was during the time when they would do these book drops. And with book drops, just like shoes or anything else, people who are fans of the series, they were hyped. And so they would line up outside of Barnes and Nobles and just to cop these books.
Yeah.
Well, there was this clip online where a guy, he actually had an early copy of or downloaded the PDF. It got leaked and he read it. And so these kids were waiting for this book. He rolls down and he goes, Dumbledore dies.
Oh no.
This kid drops on his knees and he goes, I fucking hate you. and starts crying on the spot.
Yeah.
That shit made me die laughing so hard.
That's pretty cold though, you know, because I hate motherfuckers who spoil shit for me, you know, like movie spoilers, TV show spoilers. So like, dude, if you're that into it, I mean, I could only imagine what, you know, because I don't know who the fuck this dude is, the character that you just mentioned, and him dying.
Yeah.
Or he or she, I don't know. But I could imagine if it was an important character and then somebody just ruined it for me, and I've been waiting for this shit, like, for God knows how many years, I would slit that motherfucker's throat.
That little kid comes out with a pocket knife.
Yeah, I would be like, oh, you just fucking
Dude,
got a death wish.
That shit was hilarious to me. I couldn't stop laughing because I was a fan of the series too. When they told me Dumbledore died, I was like, cool. Because spoilers don't ruin the film for me.
Okay.
Because even if I know that it's gonna happen, I forget about it as I'm watching the film because I'm so enraptured into it.
Yeah.
Because I knew a lot of the stuff that people told me about Game of the Thrones.
Yeah.
The Game of the Thrones ahead of time.
Yeah.
But it didn't ruin it for me.
Speaking of that's not even a show I think about now, you know, it's so crazy how it went from the most talked about, most watched show to like absolutely obsolete in pop culture because of the fucking
last season.
Yeah. Well, not only the last season, but the last like 3 episodes, you know?
It was dumb. Like, they should have ended the episode, if they were going to end it like that, with Arya killing the Night King. They should have ended it there.
For sure. Anything but that.
Yeah.
Anything but the way they ended it.
When she killed the Night King, I assumed that was the last episode.
Yeah.
And, you know, people complain about the dark shit, but I actually kind of liked it because it was, like, exciting. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is going to happen?
Yeah.
So when that happened, I was like, oh, this is a really good way to end it. And then they continued, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? What is this?
Oh, so fucking disappointing. I was, like, sitting there like, oh, my God, dude. I invested years into this shit.
It was terrible.
And it was so fucking good.
Well, they went on like a writer's strike or some shit, right? Or they switched off to another project. So a lot of the writers weren't writing it or something. I forgot. I don't know
exactly what happened. But then, you know, I think starting from, what was it, 8 seasons total, I believe? And then starting from season 7, they didn't have the books as source material. So that's when they started to write their own story.
I got you. That makes sense.
And look, they did kind of okay for season 7. Okay, this is under the assumption that there were 8 seasons. I believe it was 8 seasons, but yeah, they did pretty decently for season 7. Started getting kind of questionable in 8, and then the second half of the final season was just like, what the fuck is this bullshit about?
Dumb.
It's so bad, dude.
The show was the best. Do you know what the episode that got me really into the show was? The Red Wedding.
Oh, bro.
That's when I was like, oh, shit's popping off.
Yeah, that, dude, everybody got murked.
Because I didn't expect all those people to die.
Yeah, bro. I mean, I think that's why people got so engrossed in like the whole world of Game of Thrones, man, because it was like nobody's safe. Nobody's safe, and you got these cunning motherfuckers who are planning your death, you know, and you don't even see it coming. And then they fucking ended the way they did it. And I was like, oh my God, I wish I never fucking even started it.
And then when Arya just straight up poisoned everybody.
Yeah.
Dog, that shit was so dope. I was like, this
Arya
girl is
cold-blooded,
gangster
bro.
as fuck.
She fucking dedicated her life to revenge.
You know what's weird though? When they had the scene where she actually had sex.
Oh yeah, that was so uncomfortable.
Because we saw her when she was a kid.
Yeah.
You know, so I was like, I skipped that part. I was like, I can't watch this.
She still looks like a kid though.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, yeah, she's an adult by age as a person.
I remember when that scene happened, I was like, I'm gonna skip this part. Because I saw her since she was a little kid on the show. I'm like, nobody wants it. I don't want to see this.
That's what I'm saying. Just these questionable decisions.
Yeah,
man.
I'm like, what the fuck? Who decided this shit?
Yeah.
Like, you do realize we saw her when she was like 5 or some shit.
And like what it was more disappointing was that George R. Martin was still like an advisor. He still played an advisor to the show. And so like these are things that he ran by, and they're like, hey, you cool with it? Yeah.
So you cool with this girl that we saw since she was in adolescence going to have an adult sex scene now during the same series? No. It would have been a little different if she was doing another show and then you see her as an adult.
Yeah.
Then it's like, oh, but we literally saw this girl grow up.
Yeah.
Like, I do not want to see this.
All right. To say they made questionable decisions in the second half of the last season is a compliment. That's the you know, least worst way to put it. It was a fucking travesty is what that shit was.
It was a shit show,
fucking
dude.
goddamn shame, you know?
It was terrible.
Yeah, but fuck, it is what it is, you know? I was just like, you know what? All right, well, I'm not the only one who feels this way. Everybody, it's like the most unanimous thing that, you know.
The cast were so mad that, like, how dare you? I was like, you as a cast member, you objectively know that this is a bad, it just went to shit.
Yeah.
Like none of the stuff that they kind of forebode made any fucking sense at all. Specifically with Jon Stark.
Yeah.
All of
Jon Snow.
Jon Stark. I said
Tony Stark.
Tony Stark. I said Jon Stark. I just mixed up.
That's a basketball.
Yeah, Jon Stark. My bad. Jon Snow. I said Jon Stark. Jon Starks. Jon Snow. They forebode all this other stuff that you thought was going to happen at the end. All that shit happened for no reason. Yeah, that just goes to show like the writers are different.
Yeah. There was a lot of shit, like the mysterious symbol. They made a big deal out of it. Ended up being nothing. They didn't even address it. You know? At all. Yeah. So there was so much shit where it's just like the buildup was great, and then
it led to nothing.
The reveal was a huge letdown.
It's like the last people who wrote it, they just never watched the show before, and they just started writing their own thing.
Yeah,
that's what it felt like.
Yeah, it felt so disconnected and like out of sync with what the show was leading up to that. Now, Breaking Bad, on the flip side, that was
they ended in 4 seasons. Smart move.
Yeah,
all you need is 4 seasons of that shit.
I mean, that shit through and through till the end was fucking amazing, you know?
Man, Game of Thrones too, when they came out with those fucking fine ass women just butt naked, I was like, I did not expect to have a boner watching the show.
That's a pleasant surprise, I'll admit, because I wasn't a fan of the books going into it. I had no expectations. Yeah. I remember people just started talking about how great the show was, so I was like, all right, I'll check it out. And I was like, oh, this show is violent and it features nudity?
This is what I'm talking about, baby.
Yeah.
And I had to go back into my parents' bathroom in the store and start jacking off again.
Oh my God. For a furious session of masturbation.
It's like, fuck, I gotta sell this fucking weave.
Dude,
quick.
That is so funny. You in your head, you were determined, like, I need to fucking masturbate right now.
So I could get back to work and help my parents, dude. I'm a good kid. I did this for them. I jacked off for my parents.
Dude, I could never fucking do that. Just in the middle of work.
I went into the bathroom, closed that door, and I'll fucking knock that shit out the park. Out the fucking park, baby. I do it for my parents.
You know what? That's talent, bro. I give you that.
Well, that boner wouldn't go away, dude. It just wouldn't go away. It was annoying me. It was going to make me mad.
No lube? Just straight raw dog?
Raw dog, dude. Dude, lube does not make you jack off faster. Dude, doing it dry makes it way faster. Just more grip.
Oh, my God.
I don't even think I enjoyed it. I just wanted the boner to go away. Just hurry up. Hurry the fuck up and get out of my system.
Oh, my God.
And it left like a spirit out of my penis and it just flew out that way.
That's fucking terrible.
Well, guys, that wraps up this episode.
On that note.
That wraps up this episode of the Genius Brain Podcast. You can catch Edric at Ed2 on Instagram and also SCRT Society, where you can go ahead and cop the gear that we're wearing in this video right now. Fucking fantastic. And make sure you use that promo code BRAIN15.
15% off for first time purchase.
It'll be dope. Love you guys very much. Make sure that you don't masturbate in your parents' store bathroom unless you absolutely have to, which I did.
If you got to do it, you got to do it. He did it. So, man.
We'll see y'all next time.
All right, y'all. Peace.